Hey guys, Seira here, and today I am making an intro that you can actually understand. Or I hope so. Now, today we are talking about food, because the truth is, I thought that golden carrots were the best food source in the game for ever, but recently I started looking into it, and I discovered that it's not actually the case. So yeah, let's talk about it. This video was not what I was planning to do this week, but things happened. Now, food works in two systems. Okay, in fact, let me go to survival for a second. You have two systems. You have the hunger bar, and then you have a hidden saturation bar, which is basically the same. It goes from 0 to 20, and every food gives you a bit of hunger and a bit of saturation, and every food has a different amount of hunger and a different amount of saturation. And the truth is that golden carrots are the best food source in the game for saturation. But the problem is that saturation's mechanics work slightly different in a way that punishes you for actually eating golden carrots. Now, let's look at the stats of the golden carrot. 6 hunger points, 14.4 saturation points. Again, out of 20, okay? 3 hunger bars, every hunger bar is 2 points, so 3 hunger bars, when you stop being able to sprint, will be 6 points. Now, a steak or pork chop, okay, they are the same food actually, have 8 points of hunger, which is more than what golden carrots give you, but they give you less saturation. It's like, a trade-off. But the problem is that the trade-off is not good, because saturation is capped at your amount of hunger. So, to put into perspective, if you have 0 hunger and 0 saturation, basically you are starving to death already, and you eat a golden carrot, instead of being set to 6 hunger and 14.4 saturation, you are set to 6 hunger at 6 hunger and 6 saturation, which means that your saturation gets capped to the hunger that you have. This punishes you for eating high saturation foods when your hunger is low. Again, if we had eaten a steak instead, we would have gotten 8 points of hunger and 8 points of saturation. So if you are starving, eating a steak is better. At least one steak, okay? Now, but usually you don't starve to death. So what happens if you are out of food? You cannot run anymore, but you are still at 6 points. Well, you eat a golden carrot, you get sent to 12 hunger and 12 saturation. You eat a steak, you get sent to 14 hunger and 12.8 saturation. And now, if you eat another golden carrot, you get sent to 18 hunger and 18 saturation. However, had you eaten a steak, you would have gotten to 20 and 20. So, if you are out of a sprint, 2 steak is better than 2 golden carrots. And the thing is, and this is the important part, because this is actually what made me make this video, is the fact that the spear with lunch, it was recently changed in 25W43A to consume hunger, and consume way too much hunger, by the way. But the thing is, normally when you use the spear, you are going to be left with 5 or 4 hunger points, because it consumes 5 points of hunger every use. So if you use it at max hunger and max saturation, you are going to be left with 5 hunger and 0 saturation in 7 uses, which means that eating a golden carrot is actually worse than eating a steak, because you need to eat 3 times instead of 2 to be able to go back to full. But why do people then say that golden carrots are the best? Because the truth is that most people actually min-max their hunger, which means that they don't wait till they cannot run anymore to eat. They eat as soon as their hunger is like the amount of hunger that you recover from a golden carrot or from a steak, okay? So if you eat from 12 points, hold on. If you eat from 14 plus 6 is 20, okay? So if you eat from 14, that's when most people will eat. In the case of the normal hunger bar, it will be when you have 3 missing, because the golden carrot gives you 3 bars. Now, the truth is that doing that is actually better for the golden carrot, because you get 20 hunger and 14.4 saturation instead of 20 hunger and 12.8 saturation that you get from the steak in that situation. But the true moment where golden carrots are better is when you eat at 12 or 13 hunger. At 12 or 13 hunger, you can eat 2 golden carrots and get sent from the first one, you get sent to 18 points and 14.4 saturation, and from the second one, you get sent to 20 and 20. Now, in the case of a steak, you can only eat once. So you eat once, you get 8 hunger, so you get 20 points and 12.8 saturation. Now, this is the one case where golden carrots are better. But there's a slight problem with this case, and it's the fact that people don't really do that. They don't eat a golden carrot when they have one hunger bar left to eat, because 12 points is 9 hunger bars. So it will be like if this was empty. People don't do that. And if you do it to maximize the amount of hunger that you get from the golden carrots, so you do it from 8 points, to eat 2 golden carrots, recover 12 hunger, and get sent to full, they are the same. 8 points. You eat 2 golden carrots, you get 20. You eat 2 steak, you get 20. It's the same, except steak is way easier to get than golden carrots. And yes, I am aware that if you eat at 8 points, you are actually wasting hunger from the second steak. Okay, you are eating at 4 hunger instead of 4 points instead of 8. But that's, as I said, people would probably just eat then, okay, in the golden carrot. But if they had eaten steak, it would have been better instead. That's the point. And the thing is, this is without taking into account that getting golden carrots is worse than getting steak or pork chop, actually pork chop. Because pork chop, you can just make a hoglin farm, a small hoglin farm, and get way more pork chop than you can ever eat in a single player world. But golden carrots, you need a gold farm, a crop farm, a crafter setup, just to automate it. I think golden carrots are not worth it. Like, the only situation is this one, but again, people don't actually do that. Now, there is one thing that I do want to mention, because in the combat tests, those things that Mojang worked on and never released, they made a change to how saturation works, because it became no longer stackable. You couldn't eat twice to get 2 times the saturation boost. Instead of eating 2 golden carrots and going to 14.4 and then to 20, eating will set you to the saturation amount that the food gives you. So in that case, golden carrots will probably be better, because you can eat once, get set to 14.4, and every time you eat, it will always set you to 14.4 instead of 12.8. So you are actually gaining saturation in that case. But until that actually hits the normal vanilla game, I don't think golden carrots are actually worth it. At least this is my opinion, obviously. Leave comments, discuss. In my opinion, I think steak is better. Also easier to get. And golden carrots can also be gotten from villagers. By the way, I didn't forget that. It's just that I don't consider villagers a good mechanic anyway. And I think they are not automatable. How would you say that? Automatable? I don't know. But yeah, and that's everything for this video. Let me know how the voice sounds, because I try to speak better, but to be honest, I didn't do anything much different. In fact, I think I may have to re-record this. If I do, then you will never see this. But yeah, that will be everything for this week. I cannot promise that I will upload next week though, or any week to be fair. I don't have any schedule, it's just that I have time in the weekends. Bye!